It's 2 a.m. You're a U-boat captain surfacing in the middle of the Atlantic. Complete darkness, no moon. Perfect. You're safe here. Human eyes can't see you. The ocean is black. Your submarine is black, invisible. You light a cigarette on the bridge. Your crew relaxes. The diesel engines rumble to life. Batteries recharging. This is your time, your sanctuary. Then an aircraft appears from nowhere. No warning, no engine sound until it's right above you. Bombs falling. You never saw it coming, because it didn't need to see you. It had radar, and the night just stopped protecting you. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications, because what happens next changed naval warfare forever, and you're going to want to see every second of this. Let's rewind to 1939. The beginning of World War II. U-boats have one massive advantage over every other weapon system: the night. Darkness was a submarine's best friend. Better than armor, better than speed, better than torpedoes even. Here's why. U-boats were faster on the surface than underwater, way faster. 17 knots with diesel engines versus 7 knots submerged on batteries. To hunt effectively, you needed surface speed. To chase convoys, to get into position, to attack, all required being on the surface. And to recharge batteries, you absolutely had to surface. Run those diesel engines. No other option in World War II technology. But surface during the day, suicide. Allied aircraft, everywhere. Patrol planes scanning the ocean. They'd spot you from miles away. Attack immediately. You're dead. So U-boats lived on a schedule. Hide underwater all day. Surface at night. Hunt. Recharge. Operate freely. And it worked perfectly. Because humans can't see in the dark. Not on the open ocean. No light pollution. No moon most nights. Just pure black. Even if patrol aircraft were flying at night, which was rare and dangerous, they couldn't see submarines. The ocean was black. The submarine was black, same color, invisible. U-boat commanders felt invincible at night, smoked on deck, ran exercises, recharged leisurely. The darkness was absolute protection. Otto Kretschmer, Germany's top ace, he attacked convoys almost exclusively at night, surface running, chasing targets, firing torpedoes, then disappearing back into darkness. Over 40 ships sunk, until he was captured. But the night protected him for years, made him unstoppable. Günther Prien, another ace, snuck into Scapa Flow at night. British naval base, sank HMS Royal Oak, escaped in darkness. Legendary, impossible without night cover. The night belonged to U-boats, completely. The Allies knew this, and they were desperate to change it. Enter radar. Radar wasn't new by 1940. The British had ground-based radar, chain home stations, big installations. They detected German bombers, won the Battle of Britain. But those were huge, massive towers, enormous equipment, couldn't fit in an aircraft, too big, too heavy, too power-hungry. The British needed smaller radar, lighter, more efficient, radar that could fit in a patrol aircraft and find submarines. The breakthrough came in 1940, the cavity magnetron, a device that could generate powerful microwave radar pulses, small enough for aircraft, powerful enough to detect submarines. ASV radar, air-to-surface vessel, Mark II version operational by 1941, 10 centimeter wavelength, range about 12 miles in good conditions. It could detect a submarine conning tower, even at night, even in storms, because radar doesn't need light, doesn't need visibility, just radio waves bouncing off metal. The first ASV sets were crude, heavy, unreliable. The displays were hard to read. Operators needed training, lots of training, but they worked. They found submarines in total darkness. This was revolutionary, game-changing, war-winning. The British mounted ASV radar on Wellington bombers, converted for maritime patrol, also on Sunderland flying boats. Catalinas, any long-range aircraft, and they started flying night patrols over the Atlantic, over the Bay of Biscay, where U-boats transited, where they felt safe. The U-boats had no idea what was coming. Early 1941, the first radar-equipped aircraft start hunting at night. The results were immediate, devastating. March 1941, U-147, surfaced at night in the Bay of Biscay, recharging, safe, or so they thought. A Wellington bomber with ASV radar detected them, from 12 miles away, in total darkness. The crew couldn't see the submarine with their eyes, but the radar screen showed a clear contact. The pilot approached, following the radar, got within visual range, turned on a searchlight at the last second. There it was. U-147, illuminated, frozen. Depth charges fell. Direct hits. The submarine was damaged, forced to dive, barely escaped, limped back to port. But the psychological impact was enormous. How did they find us? How did they see us in darkness? May 1941, U-110. Another night. Another radar detection. This time worse. Aircraft attacked with depth charges, damaged the submarine, forced it to surface. British destroyers converged, captured the submarine, got the Enigma machine, changed the war, all because radar found them at night, when they should have been invisible. June 1941, U-556, detected at night by radar, attacked, sunk with all hands, 45 men dead. The pattern was clear. U-boats surfacing at night were being found, being attacked, being killed, by aircraft that couldn't possibly see them. The Germans were confused, panicked even. What was happening? Some U-boat commanders reported being attacked by aircraft in total darkness. Impossible. Yet, it kept happening. German intelligence started piecing it together. The British must have some kind of detection device, something that works at night. But what? They didn't know about radar yet. Not specifically. Not how it worked. Just that something had changed. The night wasn't safe anymore. By late 1942, the Germans figured it out. The British were using radar, radio detection and ranging, sending out radio waves, bouncing off submarines, detecting the echoes. The solution seemed simple. Detect the radar before the aircraft got close. Give the U-boat time to dive, escape. Enter the METOX, a radar detector, named after a French company that helped develop it. Basically, a radio receiver tuned to detect British radar frequencies. The METOX was crude. A wooden cross-shaped antenna. Looked ridiculous. Crews called it the Biscay Cross. You mounted it on the conning tower, plugged it into a receiver inside. When British radar hit the submarine, METOX would detect it, give an alarm, warning. Aircraft radar detected, dive immediately. This worked, for a while. U-boats equipped with METOX could dive before aircraft got close, escape the attack, survive the night. U-boat crews loved it. Confidence returned. The night was safe again. METOX would protect them. Sinkings dropped. Aircraft attacks became less successful. The Germans thought they'd solved the problem, but the British were already one step ahead. They developed new radar, centimetric radar, 3-centimeter wavelength, different frequency, completely different technology. The cavity magnetron allowed this. Shorter wavelengths, more precise, better resolution, could detect smaller objects more accurately. And here's the killer. METOX couldn't detect centimetric radar. Wrong frequency range. Completely blind to it. So U-boats equipped with METOX would surface. Check their detector. No signal. Think they're safe. Meanwhile, British aircraft with centimetric radar were tracking them. Approaching. The U-boat crew had no warning, no alarm, just sudden attack. The false sense of security made it worse. Crews trusted METOX. relaxed when it showed nothing, got complacent. Then, boom, aircraft attack, bombs, death, from nowhere. If you're watching this and realizing how absolutely terrifying this was, smash that subscribe button right now. It gets even worse. Radar found submarines at night, but pilots still needed to see the target to attack accurately, to aim, to confirm it was actually a submarine and not a whale or a ship. The solution was the Leigh Light, named after squadron leader Humphrey de Verde Leigh, who developed it. A massive searchlight. 22 million candle power, mounted under the aircraft wing, retractable, aimed forward. Here's how it worked in combination with radar. The aircraft approaches using radar, gets within a half mile, still can't see anything with eyes. Pure darkness. Then, at the last moment, maybe 15 seconds before attack, the pilot flips on the Leigh Light. The ocean explodes in white light. Like daytime, the submarine is illuminated, every detail visible. Crew on deck blinded, paralyzed. The bombardier releases depth charges. Perfect aim. Visual confirmation. Then the light goes off. Aircraft disappears back into darkness. From the U-boat's perspective, this was nightmare fuel. You're safe in darkness. METOX shows nothing. No warning. Suddenly it's day. Blinding light. Bombs falling. Then darkness again. You don't even know what happened. Don't know what hit you. Just terror and explosions and light. The combination of centimetric radar and Leigh Light was unstoppable. U-boats had no counter, no warning, no defense. March 1943, U-1124, surfaced at night. METOX showed clear. Safe. ARAF. Wellington with centimetric radar detected them. Approached. No warning to the submarine. Leigh Light snapped on. U-124 was caught completely. Depth charges. Direct hits. The submarine was damaged catastrophically. Tried to dive. Failed. Water flooding. Sinking. Only 2 survivors from a crew of 53. Killed by technology they didn't know existed. In darkness that was supposed to protect them. April 1943. U-332. Same story. Radar detection. Leigh Light. Attack. Sunk. All hands. Or lost. May 1943. Black May. 43 U-boats sunk in 1 month. Many at night. Killed by radar and Leigh Light combinations. The night had been taken away from U-boats. Completely. Permanently. The Germans scrambled for solutions, countermeasures, anything to survive night operations. First, stay submerged at night. Don't surface. Ever. Use schnorkel to recharge at periscope depth. The schnorkel was a breathing tube, retractable mast. You could run diesel engines while mostly submerged. Just the tube above water. This helped. Radar had trouble detecting just a schnorkel mast. Smaller signature. Harder to spot, but using schnorkel was miserable. The pressure changes when waves covered the intake. Your ears pop. Your head pounds. Some guy's eardrums ruptured. And it was slow. Maybe 6 knots maximum. Couldn't chase anything. Couldn't hunt effectively. Mission kill even if not actual kill. Second, add radar warning receivers. Better ones. Naxos. Tuned to detect centimetric radar. Naxos worked better than METOX. Could detect the newer radar. Gave some warning. But it wasn't perfect. Range was limited. Sometimes gave false alarms. Sometimes missed real threats. And even with warning, what do? Dive every time it beeps. You'd spend the entire night submerged, never recharge fully, never accomplish anything. Third, add anti-aircraft guns. More firepower, fight back against aircraft. Some U-boats mounted 4 or 5 AA guns, 20mm cannons, 37mm guns, became floating anti-aircraft platforms. The idea, stay surfaced when attacked. Shoot down the aircraft. Don't run. Fight. This was desperation. Insane desperation. Aircraft had altitude, speed, Maneuverability, bombs, way more firepower. Several U-boats tried this. Most were destroyed, shot to pieces, bombed while sitting on the surface trying to fight. A few got lucky, shot down an aircraft, but usually took damage themselves. Had to abort patrol, return to base. Not worth it. Fourth, avoid night surface operations entirely. Only surface during day, in specific weather, fog, storms, when visibility was poor. This defeated the purpose of being a submarine. If you can't hunt at night, when do you hunt? Daytime submerged attacks were slower, less effective, harder. U-boat effectiveness collapsed, not just from sinkings, from operational restrictions forced by radar. The Allies kept improving radar, each generation better than the last, smaller, lighter, more powerful, more accurate. ASV Mark III. H2S radar. Centimetric radar became standard. By 1943, almost all Allied maritime patrol aircraft had it. Range increased. 15 miles, 20 miles, could detect submarines from farther away. More search area covered per aircraft. Resolution improved. Could distinguish between a submarine and a whale, between a surfaced U-boat and a schnorkel mast. Fewer false contacts. Reliability improved. Early radar failed constantly. Needed repairs. By 1944, radar sets were robust, worked consistently, dependable. Processing improved. Better displays, easier to read. Operators trained extensively, could identify contacts instantly, react faster, and the Allies had numbers. Hundreds of radar-equipped aircraft by 1944, covering the Atlantic, the Mediterranean, the Bay of Biscay. Everywhere U-boats operated. The Germans couldn't keep up. Their radar development was behind. Resources were limited. Priorities were elsewhere. They had radar, ship-based radar, ground-based radar. But miniaturized airborne radar, limited. Their long-range maritime patrol aircraft, FW-200 Condors, had some radar, but not as good, not as many. And German submarines had no good radar of their own, some experimental sets. But mostly, U-boats were blind electronically, relied on human vision, eyeballs, which don't work in darkness. The Allies could see in darkness. The Germans couldn't. Simple as that. Asymmetric advantage. War-winning advantage. The Bay of Biscay. Water between France and Britain. U-boats had to cross it to reach the Atlantic, both coming and going. Choke point. The Allies realized this. Focused radar-equipped aircraft there. Created a killing zone. Constant patrols. Day and night. Especially night. Because that's when U-boats felt safe. When they transit on the surface. Fast. Full speed. Not anymore. June 1943. Operation Derange. RAF Coastal Command saturated the bay with aircraft. Radar-equipped Wellingtons. Sunderlands. Leigh Light equipped. Hunting at night. U-boats started dying. Constantly. Nightly. The transit became a nightmare. A gauntlet. Many U-boats sunk just trying to leave French ports. U-418, sunk in Bay of Biscay, night, radar detection. Leigh Light, depth charges, all hands lost. U-459, supply submarine, sunk crossing the bay, night attack, radar guided. U-462, another supply boat, same fate, radar, night, dead. The supply submarines were critical, refueled attack boats, extended their range. Losing them hurt the entire U-boat campaign, and the Allies knew this, targeted them specifically. Radar made it possible. Night attacks made it deadly. Donitz actually considered abandoning the Bay of Biscay route. Too dangerous, too many losses, but there was no alternative. U-boats had to transit there. Geography dictated it, so he ordered night surface transit stopped. U-boats had to cross submerged, or on schnorkel. Slow, inefficient, but safer. This added days to transit times, reduced time on patrol, reduced effectiveness, strategic impact from radar alone. Let me tell you about some specific crews, real people, killed by radar at night. U-333. Commander Peter Kremer, March 1943. Crossing the Bay of Biscay at night. Surfaced. Recharging. Kremer was experienced. Veteran commander. Multiple patrols. He knew the risks. But you had to recharge. No choice. Aircraft appeared. No warning. Radar guided. Leigh Light snapped on. Bombs falling. Kremer ordered emergency dive. The crew scrambled. Hatches closing. Diving. Close. Too close. Depth charges exploded. Right above them. The submarine shook. Damage. Leaks. But diving. Still diving. They survived. Barely. Damaged. Had to abort. Returned to port. Repairs took weeks. Kremer said later, "We never heard it coming. Never saw it. Just sudden light and explosions. Like being attacked by a ghost." He survived the war. But that night haunted him. The helplessness. The invisibility of the threat. U-506. July 1943. Commander Erich Werdemann, Mid-Atlantic, Night Surface Operations. Werdemann was hunting a convoy, needed surface speed to get ahead of it, positioned for dawn attack. Radar-equipped aircraft found him. He had METOX. It showed nothing. False security, centimetric radar, Leigh Light, attack. The submarine was caught completely. No warning, no time to dive. Depth charges hit close, very close. Damaged the pressure hull, flooding, critical damage, emergency surface. The only option. The crew abandoned ship. 12 survivors from 54 crew. Werdemann went down with his boat. Traditional captain's honor. Dead at age 31. Killed by radar he didn't know existed. U-172. December 1943. Commander Carl Emmerman. South Atlantic. Night patrol. Emmerman was another ace. 26 ships sunk. Experienced. Skilled. Confident. American aircraft with radar found him. Night attack. Leigh Light. Depth charges. The submarine was destroyed. No survivors. Entire crew lost. 55 men. Including one of Germany's best submarine commanders. Killed at night. By radar. In water that should have been safe. Far from land. Far from danger. Or so he thought. These weren't isolated incidents. This happened constantly. Nightly. The radar was everywhere. The night belonged to the Allies now. Let's talk numbers. The cold, hard data. Because numbers don't lie. 1939-1941. Before effective airborne radar. U-boats sunk at night by aircraft, maybe 20. Rare. Lucky hits. Visual sightings in good conditions. 1942. Airborne radar becoming common. U-boats sunk at night, approximately 40. Doubling. The trend starting. 1943. Radar and Leigh Light standard. U-boats sunk at night, over 100. More than doubling again. The slaughter. 1944-1945. Complete radar dominance. U-boats sunk at night, over 120. Even higher. No safety in darkness. Total, approximately 280 U-boats sunk at night by aircraft during the war. About 35% of all U-boat losses to aircraft. 35%. Just from night operations. The time that used to be safe, that U-boats relied on, gone. And the indirect impact was larger. U-boats that couldn't operate at night were less effective, accomplished less, sank fewer ships. By 1944, U-boats were averaging less than 1 ship sunk per patrol, down from 5 or 6 in 1941. Radar was a major factor. The kill-to-loss ratio flipped. Early war, 1 U-boat lost might represent 10 ships sunk. Late war, 1 ship sunk might cost 2 U-boats lost. Unsustainable. Catastrophic. War-losing statistics. Allied shipping losses dropped. 1942, over 6 million tons sunk by U-boats. 1944, under 1 million tons. What changed? Many factors. More escorts, better tactics, code breaking, air cover. But radar was critical, especially airborne radar, taking away the night, making U-boats vulnerable 24/7. By 1944, most operational U-boats had schnorkels, the breathing tube, stay submerged, recharge without fully surfacing. This was the German response to radar. Can't be detected by radar if you're not on the surface. Problem solved. Right? Not quite. Schnorkels could still be detected. The mast stuck above water. Small radar signature. But detectable. Especially by good radar with experienced operators. And visual detection was possible. In daylight. A schnorkel mast cutting through water creates a wake. A feather. Visible from aircraft. So schnorkels weren't invisible. Just harder to detect. Better than full surface. But not immunity. And operationally, schnorkels were terrible. You could only do 6 knots maximum. Usually less. Slow. Can't chase anything. Can't hunt effectively. The pressure problems. The discomfort. The CO poisoning from exhaust leaks. Crews hated it. But it kept them alive. Sometimes. The type that actually wins submarine. Germany's late war super submarine. Designed around schnorkel operations. Huge batteries. Could stay submerged for days. Fast underwater. Quiet. If these had arrived in 1942, the war might have been different. But they didn't enter service until early 1945. Too late. Too few. Germany was collapsing. And even Type 21 boats had to schnorkel eventually. Had to recharge. And when they did, Allied radar could sometimes find them. The technological gap was too large. The Allies had years of radar development, production, training. Germany was playing catch-up, failing. By mid-1944, the Battle of the Atlantic was won. Decisively. U-boats were no longer a strategic threat. Convoys crossed safely. Shipping losses were minimal. The Allied supply line to Britain was secure. D-Day could happen, the invasion of Europe, because the Atlantic was safe. Radar was a major reason. Not the only reason, but major, critical. Taking away the night from U-boats removed half their operational time, made them constantly vulnerable, constantly hunted. The psychological impact was enormous. U-boat crews knew they weren't safe, day or night, surface or submerged. Radar could find them. This destroyed morale, created fatalism. Why bother? We're all going to die anyway. Some crews refused to sail, deserted. Better court-martial than certain death. The experienced crews were mostly dead. By 1944, most U-boat commanders were on their first or second patrol. Green. Inexperienced. They'd heard the stories, the radar, the Leigh Light, the night attacks. They were terrified before even seeing combat. And they didn't have the skills to adapt, to evade, to survive. They followed procedures that no longer worked, and died. 70% casualty rate. 28,000 German submariners. Dead. Many killed at night, by radar, in darkness that should have protected them. The Allies had taken the night away. And without the night, U-boats couldn't survive. The airborne radar developed in World War II didn't stop in 1945. It evolved, became the foundation of modern aviation. Weather radar. Every commercial airliner has it. Detects storms, turbulence, keeps passengers safe. Direct descendant of ASV radar, air traffic control radar. Tracks every aircraft in the sky, prevents collisions, manages traffic. Based on World War II radar technology. Military radar. Modern fighters have incredibly sophisticated radar, can track dozens of targets, guide missiles, jam enemy radar, all evolved from the cavity magnetron and early airborne systems. Maritime patrol aircraft. P3, Orion, P8, Poseidon. Modern submarine hunters. They use radar. Highly advanced radar. But the concept is the same. Find submarines from the air. day or night. Satellites use radar, synthetic aperture radar, can map the Earth's surface through clouds, at night, in any weather. All of this traces back to desperate Allied need in World War II. Find submarines, at night, win the Battle of the Atlantic. The cavity magnetron alone is one of the most important inventions of the war, maybe of the 20th century, changed everything, not just warfare, aviation, weather forecasting, communications, everything. And it started with hunting U-boats in darkness. Let's remember the human beings behind these statistics, the men who died, on both sides. German U-boat crews, teenagers, mostly, 18, 19, 20 years old, volunteers. They believed they were protecting their country, doing their duty. They were trained extensively, months, years, taught tactics, procedures, how to survive, how to hunt. But nobody told them about radar. Not effectively, not accurately. They went into combat blind to the threat, and they died, by the thousands. In submarines, at the bottom of the ocean, crushed by pressure, drowned, suffocated. Many killed at night, when they thought they were safe, when darkness should have protected them, but didn't. Allied aircrews, also young, also brave, flying long missions, hours over empty ocean, hunting, searching. They knew if they crashed, if they ditched, they'd probably die. The ocean is vast, cold. Rescue was unlikely, but they flew anyway, operated their radar, found submarines, attacked, saved merchant ships, saved lives, merchant sailors, the ones being protected. They didn't ask for war, didn't want to fight, just wanted to deliver cargo, do their jobs. U-boats killed thousands of them, torpedoed ships, men burning in oil fires, drowning, freezing in lifeboats. Radar helped stop this, helped protect them, helped them survive, get supplies through, keep Britain alive. War is tragedy, always. Both sides lose, both sides suffer. But technology like radar decided who lost more, who suffered more. The Germans lost, the U-boat crews suffered, because the Allies had better radar, used it better, won the technological race. For years, German submarines felt safe at night. Darkness was their sanctuary, their hunting ground, their protection. They operated freely, surfaced without fear, recharged leisurely, attacked aggressively. The night was theirs, completely. Then radar took the night away. Airborne radar, centimetric wavelengths, cavity magnetron, Leigh Light, technology. Suddenly darkness meant nothing. Radio waves don't need light, don't need visibility, just metal hulls to bounce off. The submarines couldn't hide, couldn't escape, couldn't survive. The night betrayed them. 280 U-boats killed at night by radar-equipped aircraft. Thousands of submariners, dead in darkness that should have saved them. The Allies won the Battle of the Atlantic. Radar was a major reason, maybe the decisive reason, taking away the night, making U-boats vulnerable, always. 28,000 German submariners total, 70% casualties, the highest of any military branch in World War II. Many killed by technology they barely understood. Radar took the night away, and without the night, submarines couldn't survive. Simple as that. Technology beats tactics. Science beats courage. The lesson is eternal. Every advantage is temporary. Every sanctuary can be violated. Every safe haven can become a death trap. U-boats felt safe at night, until radar made safety a lie, until darkness became transparent, until the night belonged to the enemy, and then they died. In darkness that couldn't protect them anymore, under radio waves they couldn't see, killed by technology that saw everything. The night was taken away, and 28,000 men paid the price. If you made it through this entire story, you absolutely need to subscribe right now. Click that button. Turn on notifications. Because next week's video is going to blow your mind even more than this one. And there's another incredible video on screen right now that you need to watch. Click it. Trust me. This is history that changed the world, technology that won wars, stories that deserve to be told. See you next time.